If you've ever called an aircraft maintenance engineer a mechanic, don't worry, we've all heard it. But here's the thing. What we actually do is so far beyond that word that it barely scratches the surface. Stick around because by the end of this video, you'll understand exactly what it takes to keep a commercial aircraft airworthy and why it matters every single time you board a flight. An aircraft maintenance engineer, or AME, is a licensed professional regulated by aviation authorities. In the UAE, that's the GCAA. In Europe, it's EASA. In the US, it's the FAA. That license isn't handed out. You earn it through years of technical training, approved examinations, and documented hands-on experience. And unlike most professions, when an AME signs off on an aircraft, they are personally, legally responsible for that decision. Let that sink in. There are two main worlds in aircraft maintenance, line and base. Line maintenance is the sharp end. It's what happens between flights. Aircraft lands, you've got a tight turnaround window, and your job is to make sure it's safe, serviceable, and ready to go again. That means walkarounds, defect rectification, servicing, fuel, oil, tires, and signing the aircraft back into service before the next departure. Base maintenance is the deeper work. Aircraft goes into a hangar for scheduled checks. We're talking C checks, D checks, where the aircraft is essentially stripped back, inspected at a structural level, and rebuilt. These can take weeks, sometimes months. Let me walk you through what a real shift looks like in line maintenance. You arrive before the aircraft does. You review the technical log. That's the aircraft's record of any defects raised by the crew or previous engineers. Then the aircraft lands. You're on the apron. Engines spooling down. You're already looking. Visual check before the stairs are even in position. You do your walk around, every panel, every surface, every fluid level. You're not just looking, you're reading the aircraft. Oil streaks, tire wear, brake wear indicators, hydraulic leaks. Everything tells a story. If there's a defect, you action it. That might mean a quick fix, or it might mean pulling out the aircraft maintenance manual, the AME, to follow a precise procedure step by step. Nothing is done from memory. Everything is documented. Then comes the most important moment of the shift. You sign the Certificate of Release to Service, the CRS. That signature means this aircraft is airworthy. I am satisfied. I take responsibility. And then it flies. Here's something most people don't realize. AMEs don't just work for an airline or a maintenance company. They operate within a strict regulatory chain. At the top, you have the Aviation Authority, GCAA, here in the UAE, EASA in Europe. They set the rules, all of them. Approved data, approved procedures, approved training. Below that, you have the Approved Maintenance Organization, the AMO, the company that holds the approvals to do the work. And at the base of that chain, the AME. But here's the thing about that pyramid. The accountability doesn't only flow downward. When an AME signs a release to service, they are the last line of defense. Not the company, not the regulator. You. Let me tell you about a document that passengers have no idea exists, but they benefit from every single flight. It's called the Minimum Equipment List, the MEL. Here's the scenario. A passenger calls the crew to say the reading light above seat 14A isn't working. Now, does the flight get canceled? No, because the MEL tells us exactly which items can be inoperative, for how long and under what conditions, without affecting the safety of the flight. It's not cutting corners, it's engineering-approved, authority-approved risk management. The MEL is one of the most important tools we use. It keeps aircraft flying safely and commercially viable at the same time. Understanding how to apply it correctly is a core AME skill. Here's why I'm telling you all of this. Every time you board a flight, every single time, someone like me has stood under that aircraft, checked every system, reviewed every defect, and put their name on the line to say, this is safe. Not because we were told to, because we're required to, because the law demands it, because the training demands it, and honestly, because we take it seriously. The next time your flight is delayed because of a technical issue, don't be frustrated, be relieved. It means the system worked exactly as it should. An AME found something, they flagged it, they fixed it, and they didn't sign it off until they were satisfied. That's the job. So how do you actually become an AME? It starts with an approved training organization, structured, examined, regulated. You study modules covering airframes, engines, systems, electrics, regulations, human factors, and more. Then exams, and not easy ones, then documented on-the-job training, real aircraft, real tasks, supervised, then a type rating on a specific aircraft type, a 737, an A320, whatever your employer operates, then your employer issues your authorization, which defines exactly what you can and can't sign off. It typically takes between 3 to 5 years from starting training to holding a full license and authorization. And it doesn't stop there. Recency requirements, ongoing training, regulatory updates. It's a career of continuous learning. I want to be honest with you for a second. This job carries weight, real weight. When you're on a night shift, it's cold, it's quiet, and you're the only one standing between that aircraft and its next flight with 180 people on board. You feel it. Not fear, not doubt. Something more like focus, responsibility. Because the training kicks in, the discipline kicks in, and you do the job properly, not because someone is watching, but because that's who you are. That's what separates an AME from a mechanic, not the job title, the mindset. So now you know what an aircraft maintenance engineer actually does. It's not glamorous, it's not in the spotlight, but it is absolutely essential. If you found this useful, hit subscribe. I'm breaking down aviation systems, aircraft operations, and the real world of aviation in a way that actually makes sense.